Brian VANtana is coming back to Buff's Garage. But the next step is I've got to get some friends together because we've got to get him ready for some upcoming races in September. But I've got to fix this, repair this damage well enough that I can get parts back in there and then start modifying it for race, because at this point there's no way I'm going to have all the body work done, the paint done, suspension, everything ready in time for the races in September. So I guess I just have to start tearing this thing apart. We've got broken parts, and the only way to find out what all's broken is to tear into this thing and just start pulling it apart. That part's a little better. See if I can pull out the top a little bit. That's almost back to factory spec. That's what it was. Yeah, close enough. With the amount of work I got done so far, I've reached the roadblock. But I think I know a guy that might have some parts. With the Avi loaded up with the trailer, I'm headed north. So I put a couple of 100 miles on the Avalanche since we redid the rear end. So far so good, everything looks fine. I got about 15 minutes until I get to Dalton from Pole Barn Garage's house. I don't plan on taking anything this time. I'm thankful he let me go last time and invited me back to come play again. Brought a peace offering. Don't shoot! So it's dark, but the work here never stops. So I've always said Dalton is one of the hardest working YouTubers out there. And this is a guy that worked all day, working all night, got to work tomorrow. So I'm going to finish up the task that I'm working on, which is this fender right here. And then I'm going to get on the road to head to Iowa so he can go to bed and go to work tomorrow.
I'll probably end up doing wet sanding the entire thing.
Of course. Well, that was a long night of wet sanding, but Dalton's got to go to work tomorrow, so I'm going to be headed north. I know the caliper's damaged. I know the rotor's damaged. There is no wheel. Of course, I don't have a spare, so I'll need a spare with a tire, probably a caliper, rotor, wheel studs. I don't know. Waiting on roadside assist. So thank you to Dalton for coming out to help try to rescue me, but we couldn't find the wheel, or I'd be back on the road. But if you follow my light, the wheel came off way down that way. And you can see on the roadway where I rode it on the brake rotor all the way to there. Thanks again, Dalton. But we've investigated both sides of the road. I truly appreciate it. He's got to go to work in the morning. He came out to help. And I saw nowhere that there were signs of tire until I get to here. It's nice straight row, and then there's this cut in where there's obviously a little bit of damage. Looks like something came through here. But what we don't know is where it went from here. Where did it go? So we're going to start looking. Ah, that's a coyote. Still no roadside assist, but I did get an assist from Pleasant Hill Police. And off she goes. Thank you, officer, for helping me while you could. Still waiting on a tow.
What a lovely start to my, well, what is that?
Bit of a flat spot. Well, it's still there. Well, it's the next morning. Truck's still here. Trailer's still here, thankfully. I ended up in the Aldis parking lot instead of Super 8. Super 8's parking lot was packed. It was tight to get into. And this one's wide open and empty and likely to be for most of the day. Here's the stroke of luck. I've got 4 parts stores within, I'd say, a half-mile radius. And that's a Chevrolet dealership. There's a chance I might actually get this thing fixed and running today if I can find a spare tire and wheel, which I go ahead and lecture me. Spare tire and wheel are on the donor Suburban that's in the field at my mom's farm. So it is what it is. I thought to grab the trailer spare. Didn't think about the truck spare until I was already 100 miles or so away. And I said, what? I'm not gonna have a problem. Oops. But because America, I'm gonna go get some breakfast. Might as well have some energy to figure all this out today. Okay, back in the Aldi parking lot. Just left out of the breakfast place over there. Got a little caffeine to get me motivated. Talked to the manager of the store. He was super cool. He saw it this morning. He understands what he understands. So, nice guy. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate you. Hopefully I can get this thing back up running and out of your parking lot. So I think the first thing I need to do, get it jacked up. I was smart enough to bring jack stands and all that garbage. So, get it jacked up, get it on a jack stand, start finding parts. Well, in an effort to work with what you got the jack stand there. Also found the bottle jack from No Name Nationals last year. So if I can find something to jack this thing up, I'll have it off the ground on the jack stand. We'll start pulling the caliper and rotor and then figuring out what we can do about those wheel studs. Well, it's about that time of year where it's starting to get cool in the morning. So I got my Buff's Garage hoodie, which you can pick up in the merch store, but it's too warm for it, so off it comes. All right, let's get to work. So the old rusty bottle jack worked, but not enough to get the jack stand under it. And although it is off the ground, it's not going to be high enough for me to do what I need to do. Since I'm in this parking lot, I'm going to go ahead and try the factory jack. See if I can't get it up a little higher, get the jack stand under it. And I can still use the bottle jack maybe to raise the axle up, because that part's coming too. All right, just for safety, I've got a jack with 2 jack stands. I got a bottle jack underneath the axle. and my call for help has garnered me a new wheel and tire.
Have no fear, help is on the way.
I guess the next step is to pull the brake caliper, rotor off, see if I can't get the wheel studs out.
County Line Auto Parts, thank you for the help.
Yeah, this is my friend Jozette from high school. She brought me a spare tire, so it'll get me back on the road. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know if it was a good thing or a bad thing that the caliper bolts came off really well. Now you other guys who are kind of sketchy like me are probably thinking, you know, it's not that bad. I could probably just throw it back together and use it. My biggest concern, and I hate to be this way, is I still got driving to do, and I don't want this to overheat. And I don't have the ability to sit and clean it all out. Doesn't mean I won't keep it around just in case, but I think I'm gonna bite the bullet, pay $70, and get a new rotor when I get my new wheel studs. I know, don't hate me. Now the part you've all been waiting for. I brought the mini tappy tap because you don't want to leave home without one. And I was told you have to pull the axles to get these out. You can see these threads were marred, and for whatever reason the lug nuts backed out, all of them. All right, let's go find some new ones. So I'm leaving the Avalanche to go in search of parts. I checked the map and there's a parts store somewhere around this building. So let's hope I can find what I need. So apparently I didn't push record soon enough, but a gentleman from Napa was feeling sorry for me that I had to walk all this way. And so he gave me a ride back to the truck. He got me most of the parts that I need. The rest of the parts should be here around noon or 12:30. It's about 10:30, 11 now, so that's not bad at all. Just got to wait for those, and should have this wrapped up. Just like I discussed before, people will tell you you have to pull this axle to get those studs out. It's not true. People will also tell you you got to have a press to press out the old ones and press in the new ones. Also not true. You do have to have a new one and a lug nut. So we'll just use this one as an example. Put a washer in there. Now we're not going to go crazy, but with an open lug nut, we're going to get it snug. And then we're going to tighten it down until it pulls itself in. I'm going to start slow, just to make sure I get it where I need it. Okay, it's starting to pull. There it goes. All right, necessity is the mother of invention. I need some more space. I'm gonna use this open-ended wrench. Old ones are quite a bit shorter. I can still get them in there though. Just have to get them in the right spot. Well, once again, it's hot. Before you say, hey, I should change out of a black shirt, I've already got this one dirty and sweaty. I want to finish the job in this one and then I'll change. I got 3 out of the 6 pressed in, and I don't remember if they were going to deliver the other 3 or not. So it's well past 12:30, so I'm going to assume that's a not. And I'm just going to walk on back there because I need to take a break. It's hot. A little walk in the breeze wouldn't hurt me. So once again, Bob with Napa Auto Parts here in Lee Summit gave me the hookup, got all the parts I needed. He even offered to give me a ride back, but he was the only employee in there at the time, so that wouldn't work. Not to mention, it's still a beautiful day. Whew. The heat kind of got me on those first 3, but I took a break, took a little walk, doing really good. Spirits up. I'm halfway done at this point. All I got to do is put these 3 studs in, mount up my new rotor, put the caliper back, torque everything, and hope to God it's to spec because I don't have a torque wrench with me. But what I'll do is I'll probably just pop the center caps off, and every time I stop I'm going to retorque those damn things. I'll either break them off or they're gonna stay. So we'll give that a shot. And between the new wheel studs, new lug nuts, a new spare tire, and some thread locker, we should have this whole operation back on the road in just about an hour. All right, using some manual tools, some washers, and a spacer tool, I was able to only ruin 1 lug nut, but got all 6 of them studs seated. So now we're ready for our, I guess it's a Thanksgiving rotor made of turkey. Oh wait, no, made in Turkey. I wasn't sure. Turkey flavored rotor, I don't know. But there it is. Get that installed, get the caliper back on, and we might actually be able to pull this off. Shiny new turkey flavored rotor. It might last longer than the old one. Let's hope. Now we just got to get it up in the air high enough to get a wheel. Oh, I guess I got to put the caliper on. Let's do that. All right, it's hot. Wheel is on, and they are as snug as I could get them. I went ahead and pulled the cap off, made sure all these were tight, because I noticed last night before it got towed that these were loose as well, but they're not now, so we'll recheck them along the way. We just won't even put that back on. Smart, we would go ahead and check those. All right, I wasted most of my night and day, so I guess let's get this thing off the jack stands and back on the road. All right, I don't know if the wind's gonna be too much, but I am hot, I am tired, but I'll be darned if I'm gonna miss this shot where we're gonna fire up the Avalanche, hook it back to the trailer, and get the heck out of here. No idea if I captured any of that. I'm gonna be disappointed if I didn't, but this camera is really, really hot, and it's been acting up in the heat. So, if you missed all of the drama of it, driving and hooking up to the trailer, sorry. But what I'll say is, it felt a little wobbly. Could be that I have a 17-inch spare tire instead of a 20. It's apparently not recording anything, so we'll try to catch this up later. I guess I didn't check that new spare to see how much air it has in it, but it feels a little funny, but I think it's because it's a 17-inch spare size tire versus the 20 that's on here. Now it's hard to tell because the trailer's on the back, but when I pulled up to put the trailer on, it felt a little funny, but I wasn't sure if that was the bent rim or just the fact that it's a different kind of tire that I'm feeling. But we're gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna take her for a little spin after I get some refreshments cleaned up, and we'll see what it does, and if it holds out well, we're going to Iowa. If it's sketchy at all, if it even seems sketchy at all, I'm gonna go 3 hours that way. All right, wish me luck. Well, okay, I've taken it for a little test drive. I went and recreated the movie Children of the Corn, looking for my wheel, to no avail. However, I did get a hold of the property owner, and he's gonna look for it so that we hope he doesn't hit it with his equipment. I mean, it's not that I don't want to save the wheel, that would be awesome, but it wasn't my favorite wheel. It was just whatever came on the truck. But I really don't want him to damage any of his equipment, so at least he knows it's there. And I think that's a win. He knows it's there. All right, so I've stupidly decided I'm going for it. I'm going to head north up to Iowa. No, not that YouTuber, but another YouTuber. And we're going to try to get some parts for VANtana. So, yeah, let's head north.